said about a movie with minimal dialogue. The first installment was groundbreaking and innovative, using rarely represented forms of communication to drive its characters and plot. The sequel carried over some of the magic from the first film while expanding the narrative, adding depth to the lore and universe. The third installment, A Quiet Place Day 1, serves as a prequel to the events of the first two movies. With John Krasinski taking on a producer's role, co-creator Michael Sarnowski stepped in as director. The film follows Sammy as she navigates New York City during an alien invasion, seeking safety. With a runtime of 99 minutes, A Quiet Place Day 1 aims to provide viewers with a glimpse of how it all began. In this episode, we'll examine the film's purpose, its contributions to the lore, and whether it adds value to the franchise or merely capitalizes on its waning popularity. But before we get to the review, if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Also, hitting the notification bell will alert you when we drop new content. If you've already seen the movie and don't need a recap of the events, feel free to skip ahead to the film commentary section of this review. Now, let's get critical. Sam is a terminally ill cancer patient living in a hospice outside New York City with her cat Frodo. Encouraged by her nurse, Ruben, she reluctantly joins a group outing to a marionette show in Manhattan. While there, they witness meteor-like objects falling from the sky, which turns out to be hostile extraterrestrial creatures attacking the city. Sam is knocked unconscious by an explosion and later wakes up in the puppet theater with Frodo and other survivors, including Henry. Military helicopters warn them to stay silent and hidden until rescue arrives, and Sam watches as fighter jets destroy bridges to contain the creatures. That night, the power grid fails, activating a noisy emergency generator. Ruben turns it off but is killed by a creature attracted by the sound of his ripping shirt. Distraught, Sam takes Frodo and heads to Harlem. The military announces an evacuation from South Street Seaport since the creatures cannot swim. However, as groups of people head towards the evacuation point, their movement attracts the creatures, causing a stampede. Separated from Frodo, Sam flees in the opposite direction and eventually reunites with Frodo after Eric, an English law student, finds him and follows him back to Sam. Sam and Eric decide to journey together. They navigate through the city, alerting creatures and fleeing into a flooded subway. Forced to wade through deep waters, they wake a dormant creature that pursues but eventually drowns. They find refuge in a ruined church where Eric ventures out to get pain medication for Sam and rescues Frodo from a construction site. Eric learns about Sam's wish to visit a jazz nightclub and have pizza in Harlem, a memory from her childhood with her late father. He fulfills this wish by taking her to the club and getting pizza, performing a magic card trick to cheer her up. As they see boats filled with survivors leaving Manhattan, Sam decides to distract the creatures by smashing car windows, activating alarms to draw them away from the coastline. Eric and Frodo manage to escape by boat pulled up by Henry while Sam stays behind. Eric finds a note from Sam in her jacket, thanking him and asking him to take care of Frodo. In her final moments, Sam walks down a deserted street listening to Nina Simone's Feeling Good on her iPod, smiling as she unplugs her earphones and a creature appears behind her. The film is anchored by stellar performances from Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn. Alex Wolff, known for Hereditary, appears as Ruben, a hospice care worker and Sammy's loose friend, while Djimon Hounsou reprises his unnamed role as Henry. Originally, Jeff Nichols was set to write and direct, but he was later replaced by Michael Sarnowski. A Quiet Place films are known for their grim endings, and this installment is no exception. The writers aim to introduce a character with a unique relationship with death, experiencing life through a different lens. This is visually captured during the long walk scene where Sam walks past trudging people heading in the opposite direction. Such scenes are impactful but sparse. Character development is minimal, though there are moments of comfort and connection between the two leads amidst the chaos and terror. As with the previous films, the threat of invading aliens and the collapse of human civilization is a central theme. However, it raises questions about the aliens' abilities beyond their durability and extreme sensitivity to sound. It seems implausible that human intelligence and technology couldn't outsmart these aliens, which appear to act on primal instincts, attacking at the slightest sound. They avoid water because they cannot swim, but they lack the ability to organize or use tactics, an easily exploitable flaw. Attacking a planet that is over 70% water seems like an enormous oversight.
Not a great plan.
What made the first film, and to a lesser extent the second film, compelling was the character-driven plot. This film pairs two random people, one terminally ill, and sends them to Harlem as part of Sam's dying wish. While Sam finds solace in reliving a memory with her late father, hinging the movie on this premise shortchanges the audience, who might have hoped for a deeper understanding of the external threat and its global impact. The character-driven elements are strong but feel somewhat disconnected from the broader narrative. The film's focus on Sam's personal journey provides emotional depth but doesn't fully integrate with the larger story of the alien invasion. The scenes showing Sam and Eric finding moments of peace and connection are touching, but don't significantly advance the plot. Instead, they highlight the contrast between human resilience and the relentless alien threat. This approach, while emotionally resonant, might leave some viewers wanting more context about the aliens and the broader implications of their invasion. In summary, A Quiet Place Day 1 offers a mix of strong performances and emotional moments, but falls short in expanding the franchise's lore. The film's portrayal of the apocalypse and its impact on individual lives is compelling, yet the minimal character development and lack of focus on the aliens' nature and global threat might disappoint fans seeking a deeper understanding of the story's universe. The movie provides a heartfelt exploration of Sam's final days, but its narrow focus on personal narrative over broader world building leaves some questions unanswered. Recent character-driven movies, despite delivering compelling performances and decent development, seem to have lost the plot, both literally and metaphorically. While it's commendable to have well-developed characters, writers and directors are neglecting to provide a broader perspective on the events happening outside of these characters' lives. As I mentioned in my Civil War review, there needs to be a balance where characters learn about the larger-scale events while dealing with their internal and immediate issues. Think Independence Day, War of the Worlds, or Arrival. This broader perspective wasn't necessary in the first or even the second film because the threat was already established, and the characters were in survival mode, simply waiting for the inevitable chaos. This narrow focus on individual character arcs without adequately integrating the broader context diminishes the overall impact of the film. The lack of comprehensive view of the alien threat and its global implications leaves the narrative feeling somewhat shallow. While character-driven moments provide emotional depth, they fail to enhance the overarching storyline in a meaningful way. Look, I understand that the director aimed to highlight the contrast between the noisy, lively life of New York before the attack and the quiet, introspective atmosphere afterward. However, the film failed to reconcile the characters with their surroundings, missing the opportunity for them to truly reflect on what they'd lost since the attack. A more effective portrayal of this dynamic can be seen in 2007's I Am Legend. While A Quiet Place Day 1 offers strong performances and emotional moments, it misses the mark in expanding the universe and providing a more substantial narrative. The film feels like a side story rather than a crucial addition to the franchise, leaving some viewers wanting more. The aliens could have been replaced by any other terrorizing threat without significantly altering the plot, and that says something. While some might find this acceptable, I was hoping for more depth and expansion of the franchise's lore. Consequently, I give A Quiet Place Day 1 a critical rating of C+.